once this pops up. All right. I believe we are live and we are here with Victoria. Super excited, Victoria, to have you on and have you share your story with us. I'm not going to give it away. The title already gave it away, but Victoria has obviously gone through our metabolism reboot program. So I'm going to let Victoria just do a quick introduction of herself.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Jared. Like this is amazing and I'm so happy to get to like share and celebrate with everyone. I've been kind of quiet in the group, I have to admit. So for those of you, if you're meeting me for the first time, I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield. I do energy work for entrepreneurs, so specifically teaching intuitive development and teaching entrepreneurs how to grow their lives and businesses through improving their intuition. So like for me, this program has been like really transformational, and it for me it's all about staying in integrity and putting my self-care first. So I'm so excited to be here, Jared.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you have gone through our process. We're obviously, for those who are just getting started or who don't know, Victoria is just finishing our first phase of our program, which is we call our losing or kind of releasing phase. And then we're transitioning now into our second phase. So um, as we get started here, Victoria, everyone's always curious about the number. How much have you lost so far to date?
Yeah, as of today it's 25 pounds.
Nice. And then how long?
So this is just under 2 months. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Very exciting. So, okay, so give us a rundown. Before you started the program 2 months ago or 2 years ago, however long you want to go back, where were you at before starting the program as far as your health, your weight, mentally, all that stuff that kind of led you up to the program?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So before I came to the program, I ended up getting to my highest weight. So I'm just under 5'3", and I was in the 170s, which is, oh my gosh, I'm turning into a ball. And I was loving it. So there are a lot of, like, I know a lot of people when they get heavier, they're like, yeah, it's awful. It's like, no, it was great. It was awesome. And for me, though, like with the exhaustion was what I was starting to experience more and more. And last year, like right now at the filming of this video, it's 2021. Last year was 2020. And with, I got COVID early in the year. And so, like, that really slowed me down. And all of my eating kind of fell apart with emotional eating. Like, I'm a really enthusiastic, emotional eater.
Love it.
Yeah. And so like I had been carrying a little bit extra weight, and because of my body type, extra weight actually looks really great on me. I carry it well. But I started getting heavier and heavier, and the fatigue started coming in. And the strange thing about with COVID, some it's been like huge challenge, I know, for members of my family and friends. Like, I'm still praying for people who are in the hospital, right? And then for others, it was like a tidal wave of like newness. And I was on the second side. So for me, like, my body started getting heavier and heavier, and my business started taking off bigger and bigger. So I was like stress eating times two of like, oh my God, what's happening in the world? And oh my God, there's all this new activity. So it just started going up and up. And for me, when I got COVID, I and the learning that I had through that was, wow, I got to put my health first. And so that was like the first big domino of like prioritizing my health on another level. And so I was talking to a good friend of mine, Julie, Julie Shopa, who's in here, very well. And I'm like, oh, I wanna be able to release this. I want my energy back so I can keep up with the business growth and expansion. I want to help more people. I don't want to be sweating my brains out trying to, just function. And so she told me about you and about her results and about everybody else's results in this program. Like, no way, this can't be real. So I was one of the ones that's like, no way, Jared. Like absolutely not. Permanent weight loss guarantee. What? No way. No way. This got to be a scam. And in the past, I've lost weight, gained weight. I've done shakes that were for weight loss that made me gain weight. I've got food sensitivities, like, and I've quit sugar. I've jumped back on it because I have a history of addiction. So like, what I really wanted it to be about this year, for me, was about taking control of my health and putting my health first on another level. And that's what really brought me into the program.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. That's well, I mean, some people can probably relate with lots of things you said there, whether they got the virus, whether they've had weight ups and downs, whether they're a business owner. I mean, that's who we kind of work with mostly is people who are busy. You got lots going on, you're stressed, there's stress eating, there's weight gain, there's all these things going on, especially in 2020 into now, like nothing's really changing. We're just, it's a stressful season in the history of everything, right? And so it's one of those things that's tough. It's a tough process to have those ups and downs and to have low energy when you need to perform at a high level. So awesome. So I'm super excited that you've jumped in. Obviously, we've seen some big changes, which we're going to get to, like the fun stuff, the benefits, the changes in energy, all that fun stuff. But first, tell us, as you kind of obviously you've had an experience with weight loss before, or ups and downs, tried other things. What's been different for you since this process? I know we've had some conversations about health and life and all that fun stuff. Like, tell me a little bit about what's been different as you've gone through the last 2 months and maybe other attempts or other things that may help you as you go forward with keeping the weight off.
Yeah, yeah. So I have this thing in me that I like to call my toxic can do attitude of like, I can figure it out. I got it. I got it. Or I know that. I have this for me, I refer to affectionately as my toxic can do attitude. And so in the past, what I would have experiences of is like, okay, I would do googly research and be like, oh, look at that. That thing can help me lose weight. And so I'd get into it, and then it wasn't a structured program, and it would come back with a vengeance. Or I would believe the hype of all of the marketing. Oh my God, this shake is gonna change my life. I remember with the am I allowed to say names of stuff or no? Or I don't.
Sure, yeah. It's your experience, so go ahead.
Yeah, so like like with the Shackley and all of that, like, my practitioner, he was like, you got to take these supplements, they're gonna help. And then it's like for weight loss, and I gained 15 pounds. And
Right.
that for me, I hate irony, so I'm like, nope, that's not working. And then I had an experience in the past as well of like, I went vegan and did the alkaline diet and stuff like that, and then all of my family was like, what do we do around you? It's like, you're vegan, you can't even eat honey. So like, what do I feed you? Chicken soup? Like, they thought it was like I was sick or so. So like, the social implications of changing my diet
Right.
so drastically without support, I wasn't able to sustain. Like, I'll just trying to. I stayed vegan for like 2.5 years, but it came to a point where I just wanted to have like community again. And so that caused that to fall away. Another experience for me, when I had lost a lot of weight, like a 30 pounds, after a bad breakup. So it was like rage based weight loss. I'm like, I'm pounding the treadmill. It just like, oh my God, destroyed my musculature because I burnt a lot of muscle instead of fat. But I'm not angry like that anymore. I don't have that rage or sadness. I'm actually really happy. So like, finding the motivation to be able to lose weight was really tough. Even though I was happy and stressed, happy and stress eating. So rather than like being able to rage it out and like sweat it out at the gym like I used to. So I was looking for a different way to release that, like shed those extra pounds, but in a sustainable way. The biggest challenge that I solved was knowing um, how to take everything that I've learned from Googling and YouTubing. I'm going to be one. Googling and YouTubing about like how to lose weight, how to lose belly fat, all these types of keto and IF and all these things that I've tried. but what's the sequence? And I know we're gonna get into this, but I have to say, Jared, how you sequence things, it's just you do this and then this and this happens and that's it. And for me it made everything that was so like scattered and complicated super simple. And the results just came because followed the recipe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I think that's a great way to say it. Like, excuse me, I would say your body is like a recipe or your body's like an equation. If you just plug in the right numbers and you get things right where they need to be, then it works. Like it'll equal what you want it to equal. So yeah, so I love that. I love that. Now, let's say like someone's going through the process. Like if you said, okay, here's one thing that has I've learned that will help me or that has changed me or that could help you. Like what's something you've learned that you think is just like, or an aha moment that you've had, or maybe one or two or whatever, as you've gone through the process so far?
Yeah. Well, I at first I used to when I was thinking about going through the process, I'm like, ooh, looks like there's a lot of like I have to check a lot of boxes or something like that. That looked like it was going to be really hard. Um, but and then seeing the amounts of stuff that I was eating, I was like, ooh, it looks like it doesn't. I'm actually eating more on this program than I've ever ate in my life. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm gonna put this much food in me and where's my body going? Um, but so that like if anyone's going through the program and being like, am I going to be hungry and hangry all the time? No. You are not going to you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. A really big thing that surprised me is I thought the first 2 days were going to be heaven, but they were actually hell on earth. And then the rest of the time was great. So as you're going through the program and you're looking at it, like, all right, I'm getting started. I can't wait for the, the loading days. No, it's
Yeah.
weird. I when I think about all of the foods that I was allowed to eat, I feel so romantic and happy and excited, but then my body remembers how awful that was and I get gross.
Yeah.
So never again. Well, maybe one more time, but never
Yeah.
yeah. So that was another thing that I learned. What also the biggest thing though that Jared you taught me that like I'm carrying with me and is really changing my mindset and by extension my life is this definition of what is success or was I successful today. Now being all dabbly and stuff like that, I can be numbers driven and externally driven of like, okay, for example, I was successful because the scale went down, right? Or I was successful in the business context because went up or something like that.
Right.
Versus redefining success rather than by the like results or outcome is did I do the right thing? Right? Basing my perception of am I being successful versus did I create a success? That really has given me my power back and has really changed the way that I look at how I'm being in my body because, I could say like, oh, well, did I have a good day? Or, well, I feel more, let's say, stimulated because I ate all this ice cream. Like I'm a bit of an addict, so like ice cream and me have a very turbulent and exciting relationship.
Yeah.
Uh, so for like, did I have a good day? Well, it ended with me feeling like the rush of all of the like fats and the opiates and the sugar and all of that stuff. So yeah, this was a better day versus did I did I have a good day instead of looking at that end feeling. I'm looking at, well, what did I do? Did I stick to making like hitting my marks for the day? Did I do the things that are going to create a long-term success rather than just short-term gains? So for me, that redefinition of what is success or how am I being successful, that like that for me was like something that I didn't expect to get out of like a weight release program, but that is like has been the biggest takeaway and it's really changing um, how I perceive myself, and how I behave. And so for anyone who's going through the program and you're looking like, there are going to be days when you're like you're eating all kinds of random stuff that's like in the program, you're like, what in the world? I'm eating like a bird or a rabbit or something like that, and then the scale goes up and what in the world, what did I do wrong? Versus if you just stuck to the program and stay on it, what's going to happen is that your weight will go down because it's all about chemistry, right? And the like observing the equation of your body and sticking with that. And you, Jared, you have a you have a great way of helping me get out of beating myself up. I'm like, oh, I had the coconut thing at Thanksgiving. I'm so bad. And you do this thing with the toothbrush. Like you are constantly talking about brushing your teeth to help me reframe of like, well, if you forget to brush your teeth, are you a bad person? Right? I'm bad, I'm fat, I'm horrible because I didn't brush my teeth. I'm going to hell versus no, you just if you didn't brush your teeth you just go and like
Brush them again.
yeah, you go yeah, so that really helps me as an emotional eater to take the drama and the emotional heaviness out of this my relationship with food. It's just food, like it doesn't have to be so like have so much control over me. And so I'm really grateful for that. And those are the things that I would share if someone's going through the program. Like, I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but like as far so far as I've gone, some
Yeah.
nuggets picked up along the way. Yeah.
Cool. I think those are huge. The statement I always say, like the phrase is, if you want to lose weight permanently, which that's the key word, you've got to get the body healthy and the only way to do that is do the right stuff every day. It's not about the number. It's not about the ups and downs because it's going to go up and down. As we've seen, like if you looked at your tracker, like it's up and down the whole time. This is like a roller coaster, but in 6 weeks or 7 weeks, or 8 weeks almost now, we're 25 pounds down. So the key is do those right things every day to get your body healthy, but you also have to think like a healthy person, right? And sometimes it's detaching from the whole thing and saying, well, I don't get all upset and attach all these crazy emotions to brushing my teeth. Why would I do it to another long-term health process, which brushing your teeth is a long-term health process, right? Like, so is weight loss, so is health anyway. So yeah, those are huge. I think that's the crux of the whole program. Like you just nailed it on the head. Like that is the key. If you can get that focus, like you're going to lose weight and you're going to keep it off and you'll be, a different person. So that's huge, huge, huge. So awesome. So let's get into the fun stuff. So we've obviously lost 25 pounds. I mean, let me rephrase that. What you've shared is the fun stuff too. That's the key stuff. But everybody's always like, well, tell me about my energy and tell me about my weight loss and my pant sizes and like, what am I going to see? So what have you seen? Like, what are the benefits, the results, the things that you've seen as you've gone through the last almost 2 months?
Yeah, so this has been really cool. For one, of course, losing 25 pounds and like knowing that it's going to happen, that is so like it is so cool to be like, I know this is going to happen and then it does. Like that is I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but getting what you expect is really cool in my book. So that's one thing. Another, I have like, okay, so this is kind of strange. Like for me, when I look in the mirror, when I look at me, like I'm a confident person. I love me. I really do. So, but when I look in the mirror, I don't get this like, ooh, she's like tiny and all this types of things. I feel like I look exactly the same. But what happened is my clothes. What? How did my clothes start growing? It's the strangest type of shift in self perception. I mean, literally, right now, for example, I am wearing a turtleneck, and in order for me to stay in it, I have it pinned in the back in order to stay up. Like I'm starting to have to pin my clothes together so that it like I'm able to wear them because
Yes.
the body shrinking faster than I'm able to change out my wardrobe just yet. And so it's been funny. I'm like, putting, um, maybe I'm weird, but like I put on my belt and I'm like, how do I pull this all the way to the end? What changed? Which
Yeah.
I feel it's not like I'm a different person, or like I'm in some kind of different body or something like that, but my relationship to my surroundings are also starting to shift. Also, another added benefit is like I feel like, Jared, this is contagious. Is this contagious? Because, like, I have a family member that I live with. She's, I tell her, look, yeah, I'm doing all these things differently. And I'll say, like, hey, if you want to watch the video, she's like, no, no, I don't want to see it. But out of nowhere, she's losing weight and asking questions, and then like her diet's shifting too, so she's lost 10 pounds just by like by proximity.
Osmosis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so I guess this is kind of contagious. And another way that this has been an added benefit is that it really helped me show up differently during the holidays. For me, like my family communicates through food. Like if you want to say I care about you, you feed a person the things. And like half of my family is from the South. So this is like soul food, fried everything, and it's amazing. And then the other half of my family just loves sugar. And so it's like the like dessert and fried, and that's how you receive love. But what I appreciate is that I did this program especially through Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is like I had just come to accept this is when I get fat every year. Like this is part of, like my winter blubber. I come from the
Right.
holidays, I hang out with my family, I get bigger, and this is just something I accepted. Versus like there's in the program, it, there's a difference between your volume of what you're eating versus what you are eating, and that's the key. And so because I was able to make a large volume of what I'm supposed to be eating, for example, I could bring that to the family gatherings and then love it, and it's all tasty and stuff, and um I don't have to just accept that I have to harm my body in order to interact with my family during the holidays. And that also was then, again, the contagiousness of like a source of conversation of like, why do you bring your scale to Thanksgiving? What do you do? And what, okay, this is delicious, but like you can eat a lot of that, but you can't have this. I thought this was healthy. So like, I love how the more that I'm learning through you, the more that it's informing my family. My favorite person on earth is my nephew, and he stayed with us over winter break, and he saw how I was eating these like mountains of vegetables, and he's like has a bowl of food. Meanwhile, I've like all this. He started eating more vegetables because he saw on Victoria was eating differently and feeling so happy and hopeful. So I would like for me, I love those as I mean, I love my people, and I'm a love driven and people driven kind of person. So even more so than like let's say the fact that my skin's cleared up for one, and then my digestion is healing. I've had a history of, TMI, some, constipation issues, absolutely. But my digestion is healing. Yes, those are awesome. Right, my skin is smoother, which is fabulous. But all of that, above all of that, when I put like the secondary benefits of like, oh wow, this is awesome. This is an awesome program. Is how contagious it's been to see. Well, I mean, I didn't join this program for my other family members. I don't know. I don't mean to be mean in saying that, but I did it for my own health. But to see how like as a unit, there's like a lot more health and awareness spreading just because of who I'm being. That I would have to say has been a really awesome side effect of
Yeah.
going through the program with you. Yeah.
Cool. That's huge. Well, it's huge. And I think all of us, like when we experience something good in our lives, we want to share. Like you go to a good movie. Hey, you guys should, it's a great movie or whatever, right? But it's something that I think health is probably one of the most important things in our life, and it impacts everything else. when you can share that, even not in a preachy way, but just in a, you're around me, you're, kind of proximity to me, you see the example like you do, it starts to help kind of filter into everybody else, and it changes. I've seen that in my own life for sure. So very cool. Well, I mean, huge benefits, obviously, some emotional stuff, some social stuff, and obviously the physical stuff is awesome. So very cool, Victoria. That I'm super excited for you, for what's happened, and of course what will happen. We're excited to obviously keep moving forward that way. So a couple of just maybe last question I always like to ask people. If someone were watching this that maybe is like on the fence, like, well, I don't know, do I believe it's even possible to lose 20 to 45 pounds in 6 weeks? Like, can I do, is it for me? Like, they're kind of on the fence. What do you say to somebody like that?
So, well, for one, sitting on a fence hurts. I don't know if I don't know,
You're right.
like just saying, like, I mean, if you wanna continue to stay in discomfort, you're going to sit on that fence literally with all those little spikes drilling up into your butt for as long as you feel comfortable. I know for me, yes, this was an investment of time, of energy, of focus, let alone resources, right? So yeah, there's a commitment that you're weighing back and forth, but sitting on the fence hurts too. So you got to decide which one is going, what kind of hurt do you want? Do you want to stay with the hurt of indecision and not knowing what's going to happen? Or do you want to go with the positive type of pain of progress and shifts? For me, I personally decided that I was like, you know what? I want to keep the momentum of my health going. Like for me, like I said, with the COVID, that was the big domino of like my health matters. I want to keep improving. Like I got new glasses, I got all types of like homeopathy and all, like, so this was just a part of a greater story, and well, is a part of a greater story that's going on for me right now, of like I just want to keep this momentum going. But I know for me, when I'm sitting on the fence, it's usually because, well, maybe I want to sleep on it, so there's that. Like I'll give myself a sleep on it fence sit. And then there's also this disbelief, right, of like, could this really be real? And if that's the case, uh, for me personally, I don't want to tell people what to do, but for me personally, I choose to place my belief in myself rather than the person, or the coach or the program. It's like, okay, can I trust myself to show up and play full out? If I can trust myself to show up and play full out, and I know what this program is like, I've seen the results, I've seen what the whole thing is about, and if I come and go full out in that kind of a context, am I going to get more of what I want? And that is what gives me the courage. No, not to knock you, Jared. Jared, you're freaking awesome. You're freaking awesome. But what, like, when I looked at your program, I'm like, I could do that. That's what I thought to myself of like, if I go all in, and this is like very clear, right? If I go all in, if I play full out, oh yeah, that's going to get me exactly what I want,
Yeah.
and look at all the people who it's gotten exactly what they want for. So that, if for those who might be sitting on the fence, right, and feeling like the discomfort of sitting on the fence that brings, this may be more about uh, your decision of whether or not you're all in on you, not necessarily about Jared or the program, etc. It's like, are you ready yet to be all out on you personally? And if the answer is no, all right, well, then be honest. But
Yeah.
if you really are, then remember who you're trusting, right? Remember who's really on the line for it, and go for it. Because, I mean, I am a firm believer that you can have whatever you want. You can do it. Absolutely. You just gotta commit, go all in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
I
I
love that. And note, and I'm glad you said that because like I would say, like I can provide the context, I can provide the plan, and we know like I can get it down to the ounce of our average weight loss for women or men. And nobody can say that. Like I can, 23.5 pounds for women and 30.1 pounds for men. Like we know that, but everybody has their own choice. Like the only variable in our program is you, right? And so yeah, it's really a matter of, are we ready as people to bring into our lives what we want? And sometimes that's scary because that means we have to change, right? We'll give you the platform to change, but we still have to choose that. So I think you're right on. That's 100%, like, yeah, the program, like we'll tell you what to eat and stuff, but you still got to choose it. You still got to want it. You still got to do the work, right? So anyway, I love it. So you're right on, Victoria. That's perfect for, everybody who's watching, and thank you for sharing, Victoria, and thank you for allowing me to be part of your process and your health journey. It's been a pleasure thus far, and will continue to be. I'm excited for what's to come as well. But again, thank you for being here today and sharing with us. Appreciate your input.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. I like this is one more thing like I forgot to mention. I want to thank you, Jared, for because you share so much, so vulnerably, and so much of your story. You're so encouraging, and that like really bright light that you shine is something that pours into me. And I'm a reflector, and my clients have actually been coming to me and saying like, "What are you doing?" Like I feel like there's like another energy, a force coming through. And it's that encouragement and that clarity, that vulnerability that you offer. And I want to really just celebrate you for putting this all together, for cheering everyone on, for showing up so much, like the late night messages. It's like, I see you, bro. And I'm just so grateful for not just like the change in my own health already, but also how you have by extension impacted my family's lives as well. So, but I didn't want to leave this live without celebrating you. I'm really grateful.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate that. That's very, very kind. And again, it's more of a pleasure for me to give back of what I've experienced to help you, and help you in your journey. And I'm grateful you've allowed me to be part of it. So I love your energy and having you in the program as well. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for being here on this live and being willing to share your story with us and, with everybody watching. So appreciate you being willing to share, and excited for our continued work together as well. So, okay, awesome. Thank you again, Victoria, and we'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Okay, see ya.